Hi, hello. Welcome everyone to a new episode of Arduino Eduvision Season 4, episode number 9. We are Roxana and
Anton.
from Arduino Education. How are you? Remember to say hi on the chat. Tell us who you are and from where you are joining.
We are live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Crowdcast. Hit the thumbs up button if you're watching this episode from YouTube, heart if you're watching from Facebook, and light bulb on LinkedIn. I don't know how to do that one, but
No, we never know how to do that, but you just press that.
yeah.
So show us some love and do that. Heart, thumbs up, and
Light bulb. Yes.
Cool. So remember that we have our EDUvision website where you can read articles, watch tutorials, and the previous EDUvision seasons too. You can also find our new EDUvision podcast. We have 8 episodes available on Spotify, Anchor, and Apple.
Nice.
Just go on the chat. There is the link to the podcast.
Yes, and today we'll talk about STEAM. As on November 8th, we celebrate National STEAM Day. And we know that students are significantly better off with strong science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematical skills. And that's why STEAM education programs are so important. So STEAM Day is a great opportunity to encourage students to pursue their STEAM-based interests.
That's so true. And we ask you guys on social media, what is your favorite STEAM subject? Is it science, technology, engineering, arts, or math? Which one is yours, Anton?
Mine,
So you can see it here.
I would say arts because I'm not really good at math. Arts and technology, I would say, if I had to choose. So
All right. So there's a poll on LinkedIn and Twitter, so you can go and vote there, or also you can do it on the chat. So let us know which one is your favorite. Mine is arts too, arts and technology.
arts and technology.
But
yeah.
also, when I was at school, I really like science. So yeah, it's a mix.
Exactly.
Right? So we also have prepared a really cool, colorful STEAM project, right there,
Right there.
a NeoPixel cube.
Yes.
So what is this here? EDUvision, nice.
Hello from EDUvision, and then it says hi on the chat.
Say hi on the chat.
Yes.
It's very cool, right?
Absolutely.
So then we're going to talk about the project a little bit later, more in detail. But now let's see a sneak peek of how this works.
Yes.
Or not.
Or not?
Let's see.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
It's a very nice project, and as you always know, lights are very fun to watch and to work with. So it's very cool.
I'll explain a bit more in detail how this works later on. So don't
Yeah.
leave.
So we have some people joining from Colombia, Canada, so from Madrid,
Awesome.
Spain. So hello to everyone. Thanks a lot for joining.
Love
So
that
Alexander said, yes, love the camera and editing work.
Nice,
Yeah, actually,
nice.
it's a very cool video. So, and also the project it's very nice. So as we mentioned later on, Anton will explain a little bit more how the project works and what components he used, right?
Yes.
So, but also if you need some great ideas to get children and students involved in activities centered around STEAM, we have on our website an article called 5 Ways to Celebrate STEAM Day with some fun recommendations, from watching a STEAM-related movie to finding your STEM idol. So
Nice.
that's very cool.
So it's time to talk with our special guest, William Church.
Nice.
Yes, Bill Church is a former science public school physics teacher who has used computer science, engineering, design challenges, inquiry, and technology toolsets in classroom for over 20 years. And Bill has presented his work on project-based learning at many national and international conferences and co-authored a book of classroom activities entitled Physics with Robotics.
That's right. And also, Bill is currently the executive director of White Mountain Science, a STEM outreach and curriculum development organization in northern New Hampshire in the US. And Bill and the Whimsy team are regular collaborators with STEM education innovators near and far. So let's hear Bill sharing his insights and experience about STEM education. And by the end, he also uncovers a special talent
Right.
of his.
Yes.
Very, very funny, and it's very good, the interview. So let's take
see.
a look.
What I love about and I'm passionate about in terms of STEM and what we're preparing our students for is a world of work that doesn't exist right now. A world of well, we at Whimsy, we're focused on actually where it's not STEM, it's creative problem solving. Right? At the end of the day, it's STEM is a broad set of letters for a lot of different types of problems and tools to solve problems. My opinion, based on my experience, more likely to prepare students for creative problem solving across a diverse set of problems in the world that they're going to face and problems we can identify right now. I mean, I didn't know as a kid climate change would be a problem. And I grew up in the 70s and 1970s and 80s, blissfully ignorant of what was happening to the world. And I didn't know that was a problem. I didn't know to prepare for a world with a changing climate and the issues that come up and how do we live in a world with a changing climate. So we got to prepare our students for problems that don't exist now, jobs that don't exist now. And a STEM approach is a holistic way to equip our students with the tools for that changing world.
And you mentioned you've been working a lot with teachers and helping them to also implement this in their classroom. But have you got any feedback, or when working with the teachers, what kind of support do teachers feel would improve their efforts to implement STEM pedagogy in their classroom?
Boy, if we could pull it off and we could team teach, I think one of the biggest supports I would love any classroom to have is more than one instructor in the room, and if that can be pulled off because two teachers join into a larger class, but it's still two teachers. When that can happen, that's great. And any way we can get more than one instructor in the room helping to guide and coach the learning, it makes these sort of more challenging project-based learning curriculum, it makes them easier to do. It's not as right. Many hands make light work.
Yeah, having teachers from different subjects, then they could actually cover both of what they have to cover in terms of the curriculum, but over one project. I've heard from teachers that it can be tricky to evaluate these projects or evaluate their design process or what is the outcome of this teamwork. Do you have some tips? How can we do that? How would you do that then without having exams, for example?
No, boy, you're absolutely right. The challenge of grading this was far more exciting or worth it because my students were engaged. I would walk in the classroom and the parts and pieces for the projects they were doing would just come off the shelves and onto their desks, and they were working. And there were certainly moments when students stayed late at night to work or came in on a weekend. So this idea of, oh my gosh, I'm not having to plan these lectures every single day. Yes, it's a challenge to figure out how to grade this, but it's picking your challenge. So I pick these engaging projects so I don't have to do the zillions of lectures, and even grade. I would call it or I learned it from a teacher, this phrase, I'd bring my bag of papers home, tests, essays, etc. And I called it my little bag of guilt because I wouldn't touch it. I'd bring it back the next day and I hadn't graded anything. So now you ask the valid question of how did we grade it? And really the end of it was trying to figure out what's the process, what are students going through parts of the process. So, and some of it's yes, no, it's 1 or a 0. Some of it is showing up on time, using most of the class period effectively, resolving conflict with your team. He'll have a whole list of things on a checklist, and between the group and himself, They'll just put ones and zeros there. And it's okay if you get a 0 on a day. There was a bad day. You didn't get along with your teammates. That's okay. A single point in a big project's not going to sink your grade. I try to tell students, if we're worried about just a single point or the difference between a B- and a B, let's talk about it later. Let's come back to it. It'll be reasonable to change that grade if that's what is needed. When we're doing this approach here, I'm helping to prepare you in a very broad way for life. You know, you're not going to necessarily memorize the fact that can impress somebody at the dinner table and impress somebody in an interview in the moment, but you're going to learn skills that help you have growing opportunities in your life. And so I'll be honest with the students, that's what I'm aiming to prepare for. And then when I need to prepare them for a test, I'll say, okay, folks, we've done this for a while. Let's try our best. Let's try on. I mean, let's do our best here. Let's take a week. Let's cram. Let's study. Let's try to look at the test as another project to try to prepare for. But we'll it's like, what's that balance between preparing for the test if the students have to take a test, or the college class if they have to do that? I try to say I want to try to get by preparing you for that. Admit that I'm not preparing you maybe as well as other places for that single thing, the AP physics exam. But we're going to try to do enough to get by. And anyway, so I guess really being honest with students and families about what we're preparing for.
Then our last question, tell us something interesting about yourself most people don't know.
So I got into juggling.
Okay, this is exciting.
So I'm going to tell my mom this. I juggled on live TV. Okay, I'm going to try to juggle. So it's so fun. And but when I try to juggle, I've got to take a risk, because juggling for me is not catching them, it's dropping them. Okay, let me, all right. So you can see, I shouldn't do this inside, and my family yells at me if I try this stuff, but I'm at work, so I can.
Don't go too close to the window.
That's right. Okay. Can you see the room?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
I know. I'm just learning this, and so this has been a couple weeks, and so let's see what happens here. It's not chainsaws yet. Okay. So if I try this, okay, here we go. Okay, what? You gotta go one more.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
There were a few ones.
Nice.
Good job.
That's actually really hard to do.
All right, let me cut transition. Okay.
That was awesome.
I know. And that just trying to learn new stuff is and it's another thing that helps me, boy, in the past 2 years, to take these moments and try to reset my brain, because there's so much to think about and worry about. And so the juggling, but what I do, and we all have, or not all, but some of us have these exercise watches and things. And when we have these days and we're on Zoom meetings for hours and hours, just chasing the juggling balls around the house, or the clubs outside, because I'm good. I know I'll break things in the house if I do that at home. But anyway, so that might be something people don't know. And thank you for indulging me.
And that's very cool.
Yes.
And now they know.
Now they know.
They will.
So now they expect more.
Yeah,
What is
exactly.
the next thing you can throw?
That's right. Well, I'd always joke with my family saying I always wanted to run away to the circus.
Yep.
So
You can still do that.
Yeah.
and schools to some extent have been my circus, so that's wonderful.
Yeah. It's been really inspiring to talk with you. Yes. I really liked our discussion. Thank you for today.
Thank you so much, Bill.
Oh, such a great pleasure to be here.
Thank you. That was a great interview. As you can see, we had a lot of fun talking with Bill, and he shared so much insights from all of his 20 years of experience being a teacher. So it was very fun.
And I like that he has his juggling stuff in his office in case he gets bored. He can just
Yeah,
start
and
juggling.
like they say, like sometimes you need to disconnect and,
Yeah,
and try
yeah.
different things and learn new different things. So it's very cool.
For sure. So yeah, we also have an article about Bill Church called "The Evolution of STEM from an Educator's Perspective" on our website. And
That's right.
to learn more about Bill and the Whimsy team, what they're doing, you can check their website, whitemountainscience.org.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you can listen to the full interview with Bill on our EDUvision podcast. He tells us more about how the education has evolved and all the challenges that teachers face when they implement STEM programs. So you can find the link here on the chat, and this is our website where we have all of our previous episodes here, and of course the new one with Bill. So
Nice.
just go there. Cool. Really
Cool,
listen
cool.
to that. It's inspiring, it's fun, and you will learn a lot. So yeah, don't miss that episode.
No.
And also, if you want to start building STEAM projects with your students or with your kids or with children at home, we have the Arduino Student Kit, which is a hands-on tool to learn about coding and electronics. And we have
A 15% discount until the end of this week, Sunday, November 7th. And you can see the discount when you visit the digital store. And if you want to take a look at Student Kit content, you can see a lesson on our content preview website.
Yeah, you can go on the chat,
Yes,
and
yes.
it's there, the lesson. So you take a look of how the student kit activities look like. So what if we go back to our project,
Yes,
the NeoPixel?
the little NeoPixel box.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
So
fun project to make. So it's a box, as you can see. We 3D printed this box here, and we have a NeoPixel grid and some translucent plastic. And you can do lots of cool stuff with it. As you saw in the video, I made a sketch where I could switch the colors when I was tilting it. So we also have an accelerometer inside, and of course an Arduino Uno inside as well. So yeah, and as you see here, we made a little message. It says, "Hello from EDUvision, say hi on the chat." But you could also connect it to whatever you want. So you could potentially connect a RTC module, and you could make it into a clock. You could use an API if you have a Wi-Fi board, so you could display weather and lots of amazing cool stuff. So yeah, and it's pretty easy to make. You don't need a 3D printer. You could use cardboard if you don't
Yeah,
have a 3D
exactly.
printer. So
any material.
Any
make
material.
just, like a box and put inside the board. And remember that what we want to do here is just to build something to inspire you. And because when you see some like this idea, you say, I can maybe try this or try that. So this is just to inspire your curiosity or imagination or creativity, and then you can turn this into something bigger and different.
exactly.
So
And
that's very cool.
It's cool with an accelerometer in it as well. You can change the interactions depending on how you tilt it and so forward. So really cool. I urge you to try. It's really cool, and you can have it next to your computer as a lamp even. So lots of different possibilities with it.
Yeah, that's cool. As we saw on the video, you were rotating it, and then you have different types of light
Yeah.
that help with your mood or changes your mood, right, depending on the color. So now that we are working too much from home or learning from home, it's nice to have this kind of thing. So it changes all.
Absolutely.
So really try that. It's very easy. It's a library already there, right?
Yeah,
that
you
they can
use the
try.
NeoPixel, the Adafruit NeoPixel library. You can look it up, and it's pretty easy to get your hands dirty with it. So, yeah.
Exactly, very easy. So again, we always love to see what you're doing with Arduino and with your knowledge, with your experience, with your students. So always remember to share your project with us. So we have only one last episode left for this season, but then you can still get some Arduino goodies by submitting your Arduino project on our EDUvision site.
Yes.
Remember, it's Arduino CC /education/EDUvision. then you will find all the instructions there, the description of your project, and you can submit it. And actually, I see there on the chat, Akil, that I think he shared his project with us. So he just received his Arduino
Nice.
goodies. So
Awesome.
it's really cool what you can get. And of course, like, you know, Arduino, it has this huge community. So it's very nice when we see some project that you build
Exactly.
and we can share with everyone. So remember, I don't, well, yeah, it's nice, that phrase that we say, sharing is caring.
Exactly.
So more people will learn about the job or the work you're doing. So, and they can learn from you, inspire others. So it's also very good, so you can share your projects with us.
Yes.
Just remember that,
Awesome.
right?
Yes.
All right.
And that's it.
So I think that's it for this episode. And join us next week on Thursday, November 11 at 5 p.m. Central European Time for the EDUvision Season 4 finale, last
Finale.
episode 10, and celebrate with us World Science Day.
Yes, and we will talk with Dr. Erica Colon, a national board certified teacher and founder of Nitty Gritty Science, a platform that provides resources for educators, such as science curriculums for secondary science classes, and not only to engage students, but also help them master the science.
Yeah, she's very active on social media. So if you already want to know what she does, you can go to Nitty Gritty Instagram, TikTok. So she
Check
has
it out.
Yeah, she has a bunch of cool ideas with science. So check that out. And then see you next
See you.
Thursday, everyone, all of you.
Be sure to be there.
Exactly. See you soon. Take care and bye.
Bye.
Adios.